Hello. Welcome back. Today we've got a special review. We're going to talk about the 2014 Ford Ranger Supercab. Let's go.
Die modder en bloed lê ek koud. Streepsak en reën kleef teen my. En my huis en my plaas tot kolle verbrand sodat hulle ons kan vang. Maar daai vlamme en vuur brand nou diep binne my. De la rai.
Now the back of this bakkie is very nice and big. If you happen to shoot a kudu or like a wildebeest or something, you should be able to put him in here very nicely indeed. Now this one here is rubberized so that animal doesn't slide around and you don't get the blood everywhere all over the place. And the best part about this bak is big enough to make a lekker bakoozie as well. Now there's one reason why this Ford Ranger is better than yours. You see this lekker big aerial over here? Now there's a reason for that. When you're listening to the rugby game on the radio, there's no interruptions or nothing. It's lekker and clear. Now if you have lekker biltong or lekker braaivleis or something and you don't want to put it in the back of a bakkie because someone is going to steal it, you just open this back door because it's a Supercab and you have lekker plek on this side, and if you open this up, all you have to do is take this jack out and then you've got one and two sides to put all your braaivleis and everything you want. Is baie lekker. That's enough talking, let's drive this bakkie. Right, I wanted to start nicely but there's a flippin' Mahindra behind us so I have to smoke him. Mahindras are cock, Fords are number one. I'll say. Now that we took care of that Mahindra, let's talk about engine in this Ford Ranger. Now the Ford Ranger for 2014, it has a 5-cylinder 3.2 liter turbo diesel engine. Now this engine is very powerful. It makes 147 kilowatts or 198 horsepower and also 470 newton meters of torque. Now this is still a 2014 model, but the power and the torque is more than that in the brand new Toyota Hilux 2.8, which is very nice. Now there is no claim 0 to 100 time on this bakkie, but it is around 12 seconds, and the top speed also not claimed is around 190 kilometers an hour. The consumption on this bakkie is very light. It's claimed at around 8.5 liters per 100 kilos, which is very nice indeed. You can save lekker brandstof and buy more biltong. On the road, this car feels very nice to drive. The suspension is lekker and soft. It's softer than a Hilux and less bouncy also. The gearbox in this Ford Ranger, I wasn't too happy with it when I first drove it. Felt a bit notchy and not very smooth. But after getting used to it, it feels very nice and it shifts very easily. And the clutch in this car is very soft and nice as well. Now the Ford Rangers are available with two gearboxes. This one has the 6-speed manual, but you can also get it with a 6-speed auto. Now this bakkie is a 4x4, which means it pulls with all four of its wheels, and it's also a Supercab. Now what is a Supercab? Basically it's not a double cab and it's not a single cab. Basically you have these kind of suicide doors. They open up and you have kind of a small indoor boot at the back where you can keep anything you want, as you just saw. Let's talk about the exterior on this Ford Ranger. Now, personally, I like the Ford Ranger, well, the newer spec also, more than the brand new Toyota Hilux. I think it just looks better in general, but that is my opinion. In the front, this bakkie has a lekker bull bar, so you don't have to take cut from any Hilux driver, you just move them over. And it's got a tow bar at the back so you can pull anything you want, up to 3.5 tons. And the lekker thing about driving a bakkie in these small towns are the roads are cock. So these bakkies, they are lekker for the potholes. Let's talk about the interior of this bakkie. Now, this bakkie has lekker soft cloth seats. They feel very nice, and in the summer you feel nice and cool. The one thing that I really love about these seats is the pattern on them looks like a Chevrolet's badge. And it always reminds you, if you're a Ford driver, when you're always going to sit on a Chevrolet driver. If we look at the interior, we look down here. This one I said is a 4x4, so we've got our modes for 2 high, 4 high and 4 low. And then we'll go a little bit up. We've got our gearbox, which is the 6-speed manual. Then if we look under there, we've got our power outlets and our auxiliary cable connection in our, what's that, the USB I think. Yes, it is a USB. Now we come a little bit higher. We've got our lekker cool air conditioning as standard in this lekker Ford bakkie. Then we've got our lock, unlock, menu, radio and everything else. Now this interior is not my favorite. It looks okay, but it's nice and rough and doesn't break easily. On the newer spec Ford Ranger, they've updated it. It's got a lekker screen there and I think it looks better as well. Now the point of a bakkie is it should be able to drive lekker on the gravel roads as well. Now I don't think I need to go on the gravel road because these roads are so bad anyway, but on the gravel road she performs very nicely. She sits better up a gravel road than a Hilux, I will say that. It's less bouncy and it's not as uneasy on the gravel also as a Hilux is. Now what would I give the 2014 Ford Ranger Supercab 4x4 3.2 manual out of 10 for a bakkie? Now I really like this bakkie. It performs nice in town and also on the gravel and on those plus pyre. But the things that I don't like too much about this bakkie is the gearbox. I've grew on it, but it's still not my favorite. And this model of year, just before the facelift, I think is not the best looking bakkie in the world. So overall, I'm going to give this Ford Ranger a lekker 7 out of 10. Coming past a Navara. That's the one bakkie I would take over the Ford Ranger. The brand new Nissan Navaras are flippin' lekker bakkies. I can't wait to drive one and I shall review one if I get the chance. Okay, if you enjoyed this review and you found it helpful and funny, please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for